Well, let's see. The two repairs I was talking about doing was replacing this box and fixing the power wire, the power cord. And it looks like, I think I tried to loosen this aluminum ledge for the module, and one of these stripped out, so I'm going to have to redo one of those bolts, but it looks like it also will easily come off with these two little nuts. I need to find if I can have a nut driver for that, because I'm not going to get on that back one with the pliers. Looks like just a standard 1/4 inch. That was excellent. Okay, there's the module. Found another little difference here. This is the one that came off of the M82, and if you'll notice, that's cut out compared to a normal one that's kind of a rounded thing on there. No matter, just pop that cover off the bottom and just leave it off. It doesn't do anything. And if I remember correctly, it was on that way. Okay, that'll get me at least to the point where I can test it. I put a note of this one. This one was super weird. I pulled it up from a front loader that you couldn't turn on and off. It was always on. It was the weirdest thing. But, you know, the 7805 is gone from it now, so, you know, and the power supply controls it. So, that'll be easy enough. Also easy is fixing the cord. Remember that little split we got right there? There's actually nothing wrong with the cord still. All I really need to do let's see, how did that work? Okay, well, it was a lot easier than it should have been. Just squeezed it and pushed it through the back. That's all that needed to happen. And all I'm going to do is move the grommet to the other side of the split, because there's nothing wrong with the wire. I'll only be losing a couple inches, maybe 1 inch. Okay, there's that. Left a few marks on the pin. That sucks, but at least now that part of the wiring is never going to fray. Let's see, what else? I did get that off fairly easy. I could go ahead and put regular silver ones on the back. And I do believe these are all 632 sized screws. I could not find black ones at my local Ace Hardware, so I'm going to put an order in for them later. No sense in having black ones right here. Ugly one. I might replace those. Let's see. Aluminum spacers. I'd say we lucked out with the 3/4 switch. It looks like it's spot on. And we got composite and audio. And it looks like the rear panel is ready to go back on. Well, I've run out of silver screws, and there's my pile of square ones, and I've got like 4 Torx ones left. I guess I'd go ahead and use those. Not too worried about tightening this up too much. Just want to get it back together enough to test the repairs. Make sure everything's still working after being cleaned. Okay. I'm going to hook up the power supply, but not necessarily throw it in there correctly. Let's just do it off to the side if we can get away with it here. I need somewhere to lay this thing. So we'll throw it back in there. What's funny is something else to note is this has 3 plastic spacers to go on those 3 legs, and this one is taller, and this one actually touches the ground plane. Okay. I also don't have the 3 screws to bolt that down to this plate anymore. I might just pause all this until I get the screws in. Alright, so I got the power supply just laid off to the side, hooked up with composite for now. We are getting the intro screen. I don't know if you can see that, but the digital number is just cycling through. There's no games in it. One thing that I did not test on the operation was the EverDrive and Power Pack. So I'd like to do that real quick. Just to make sure they operate. You could even throw a Game Genie in it maybe. Let's see. Put a regular test card in there. EverDrive. Power Pack. Controller. there. Okay, went through the controller test. The EverDrive's lit up, see that? Ugh. For some reason, two-player test is not like that oddball controller. Hey, what happened? There's power pack. Controller test. Player 1 again. What? Is that supposed to be the zapper, maybe? Let's see. What? Oh, EverDrive. Skip right past the EverDrive. Okay, there's player 1. Player 2 is all the way to the right, apparently. Player 2 again. Player 2 again. Player 1. Huh. I was really expecting 4-player action. Let me grab a couple more controllers here. Okay, I've got 5 controllers hooked up now. I don't think I read either flash card that time, did I? Okay, player 1. Next port, still player 1. Next port, 2. Next port, 2 still. 2 still. Huh. Got me. Okay, anyway, now, why the heck aren't we getting... Okay, we get power pack. What happened? I hit the start button. Oh, something else to remember is I don't have the rotary switch hooked up. Hey, the EverDrive loaded. Run the test ROM. Video workaround pass. Green is awful dull. It's mono audio, but they're both, all the channels are there. Ugh. That is jail bar heaven. The colors just seem off. Really off. Okay. There's no reset button on this thing, is there? hell, it froze again. Blah blah blah, whatever. Looks like the EverDrive works. How am I always going directly to this? Ugh, froze right away. M82 is not liking the power pack. Just for fun. Try a different port. Went right past it. There we go. Oh, I was wanting to see, for some stupid reason, that it had expansion audio. Nope. Which that is not a surprise. It'd be nice to have a reset button for that. Why does it go right past it? I went right past 2 to 4. Let's see. Play a game here. Right away it froze. It's kind of looking like the power pack is not compatible with the M82, and that sucks. I wonder if the 373 needs to be replaced. Get an HC version in there. Try to hold down AB and start to reboot the power pack, and it's just not working. Well, that's sad. Really don't like that switch. Let's see. I do have a game genie. Say it is too thick of a PCB, so we're going to have to break out the adapter. I went right past it. Went right past it again. So I went past 1, 2 also. Hell. Power pack out. Nope, it's not reading it at all. That sucks. So apparently we cannot use the Game Genie either. Well, let's leave that in there and make sure it's not just the adapter, which I had no idea why it would be. There's nothing in the adapter. Yeah. Ugh. No Game Genie, that sucks. Straight to Dracula's Curse. I have no video. Green just looks so far off. You're not really able to see much of what's going on there, are you? I'm sitting here thinking I've not actually sit here and played a game yet. I'm really curious, if you unplug the rotary switch, does it just automatically run forever? That'd be fine. I'd like to put it on there, but I'd like to put it to where I need to time this thing. 128 minutes is a long time though. Well, seems to be playing regular Mike Tyson Punch-Out game pretty well, which is a rare, weird mapper. I think, although I still don't have video on Dracula's Curse. Which I cleaned all these parts. I don't use them too often. I went straight to 2. Still no video. Well, if I hit start, am I just remembering this intro too differently? Where's all the scrolling film thing, or am I just remembering the Japanese wrong? There's gotta be something. Yeah, there's something wrong there. But I'm wondering if we put it down on one of these. Seems like all these connectors on the far right had all the traces going down to the main board. Remember that? Nope, that didn't make any difference. Oh. What? Ah. Well, there's the scrolling stuff, but it's messed up looking. Maybe the game is dirty. I don't know. I thought I had cleaned it. It only takes one time of putting a cartridge into a dirty console. If you're curious what I'm using, that came in some cleaning kit, eliminator or something like that. And then just rubbing alcohol and Q-tips to clean that off. And this is Purple Power degreaser. Well, I'd say that was fairly clean. There we go. What? Oh, come on. It's not even finding it now. Oh, you're kidding me. What's the deal? My cartridge quit working? That would suck. Lose Castlevania 3. Right past it again. No, I don't know why it's not finding it. It's not the connector on the M82. Wow. I'll have to plug that into the top loader later. Make sure I didn't ruin that cartridge. Okay, so still confused about the controller ports. And let's see, we need to try the RF next. Huh. It's doing the exact same thing. Isn't that interesting? Looks like I'm set for channel 3. So, I don't know. Apparently it was never meant to have RF output. I'll have to poke around. Maybe some M82 owners out there can test theirs to see if it has RF output. I'm guessing it just doesn't. That's fine. There's definitely no loss, you know, and I'm going to RGB mod it anyway, so I can give two shits if it's got RF output. I will say if this is going to be the case for keeping it stock, then yeah, I'll probably just go ahead and put the other video power module back into this, the one that I thought didn't work, because apparently it just didn't have RF to begin with. So, I mean, it's hard to say that this is going to make or break anybody on, oh, it's not stock enough, you know, having that little cutout in the metal, big deal. Probably will go ahead and replace that capacitor, even though I'm betting it will work without that capacitor. I'm betting it's not getting any power going through it anyway, because that was power input, which would be coming through the power port, which is not being used. So it's probably getting fed 5 volts and audio and video. I mean, I'm assuming that's all that this is doing. You might have your audio and video amplifiers in there for composite mono out. So yeah, I could throw that back in there to keep it stock. But you know, for long term, it wouldn't hurt to take the capacitor out, leave it out, although it may not ever fail. And if it does, who cares? It's just a power video module, easily replaced, as I've already proven. So, well, I think I've done everything I wanted to do for this video, because now I need to order screws, wait for those, and then so I can put all of this stuff back together. Did some more testing with Power Pack, EverDrive, and some cartridges. Oh, yes, one last test to test time limit. And I'm just going to assume unplugging that switch will let it run forever. So I'm going to do that now. There's no reason to show that, other than maybe use the timer on the camera to prove that went over 128 minutes. But I think I could just look at my clock and, you know, in case it stops before 128 minutes. But I'll walk through here all day, and you know, and it's like 5 p.m. now. If I come back at 7:30 and it's still running, then I know unplugging the broken switch from the board lets it run. And then, I mean, I might still try to replace it. I don't know. Why would anybody want that in there? If anything, I thought about just cutting a slot in what's left of the knob so that you could put a screwdriver into it and plug it back in and use it as it was originally intended. But finding an original switch that's not broken is probably going to be super impossible. So yeah, let's do the runtime test, and then I'll come back to you. Well, we're already past 6 minutes, so the next level will be 128 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna come back in a couple hours and see what happens. I just realized there may have been a fault in my plan, as it was the only cartridge in there. So if it did reset, was it just going to cycle through and find nothing and go right back to that and just restart the intro, and then when I walk through I'm looking at the same thing? So I inserted a couple more games, and I'm going to restart again from here and see what happens. Again, I'm thinking the plan is still flawed, because what if it just resets right to the first game? So I'm going to pick the next game, test cart. I'm actually going to put it on that screen. I think that it will stay like that forever. I don't think it's timed or anything. I could be wrong, but I'm going to redo it now. It's like 6 minutes till 8 p.m. So I'll come back every few minutes and check to see if it's still on that screen. This should be good to go. Okay, 10:15. Oh, it just reset. Did you see that? Oh man. Are you kidding me? So apparently it's still set on the 128 minute. But just to be sure, I'm going to go another 2 hours and see if it does it again. Well, maybe I won't. The EverDrive powered off even. This thing really does not like flash carts. Well, I'm going to try it one more time, just to be sure. Okay, my phone says I got 50 seconds until it's close to time. So I'm going to let it run for a while here, see what happens. That was a good one. And a hell of a thunderstorm rolling through right now. There it went. Right on cue. Well, I mean, that proves that the switch being disconnected just leaves it in 128 minute mode. So my next project will be to figure out this switch, maybe find a replacement. It'd be really cool if we figure out how to put it into unlimited time mode. Okay, I'm back on the switch, and I'm on this arcade otaku forum where this King Arthur, I think he's out in the UK, is trying to figure out his switch, and I'm trying to figure it out a little bit too, but I think a lot of the information he has up here is wrong somehow or other. I mean, I'm not super familiar with this, but what I can tell you is what I found with this switch. Basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to find continuity for all these pins, and I've got it hooked up where I have one lead on the brown wire, and then I'm just connected to the one probe like that, and then I'm just checking for continuity over here. And I went ahead and cut a switch in what was left of my knob, and when I move it, you can see that this does not move. So that is probably the stop pin that I found the other day, which turns this 8 position down to a 4. I've only got the 1, 2, 3, 4 positions. And basically what I do is I just go through and I touch. So the brown wire is going to the green on that position and none of the others. Go to another position, not on green, and I've got it on yellow. And then another position on orange. And lastly, if I play with it here, this one's touchy for some reason, I get it on red. I don't know why, but if I'm just moving the switch around a little bit, maybe because it was broken and hit, I might be having trouble getting continuity all the time. And if I just sit there and play with it, you can tell I'm losing continuity. So I think that's all this switch does, is act as a single pole quad throw, and I'll show you a more reason why I think this. Okay, on the M82, the brown wire connects to this pin, and if I touch anywhere on ground, you'll see that's ground. And that makes sense because you got a resistor array right here, okay? And basically what you have on the far left pin here, it's squared off by itself. I have 4.7K on each pin to that far left pin. And also, if I find power, let's just say that pin, you can see that the far left pin on the resistor array is power. So this is just a set of pull-up resistors for each signal line of the switch. Now, what I did find, and it was also kind of by accident, is each of the 4 pins comes down to this Nintendo branded chip. So I've got pin 21, 22, 23, and 24. Now I don't know if they go anywhere else. I really didn't dig into it that far because I was just really trying to figure out the switch. But what this tells me is there may not be a way to get this thing to run longer than 128 minutes because I think it's programmed into that chip somehow. It must be some kind of MCU that's just specially programmed just for this unit, and there may not be a way around it. But that's what I've found about the switch so far. Okay, I think this is going to conclude the whole teardown, repairs, etc. video. If there's anything left, it's going to be minor, and I'll just throw it in with the RGB mod video. I think I'm done. You know, I got to wait on screws and stuff and to finish putting it back together. So I think all the rest of it was I'm just going to wrap into the RGB mod video because there's really not going to be a ton to show with that video. You know, that you haven't already seen before, especially with the test station and whatnot. So I think it might be a week or so before I get back to this and do the RGB mod, just because of waiting on screws and stuff. But that's it for now.